What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name's Arie, and today I want to talk about all of the things that you should expect when scaling a dropshipping store to 6 figures a month or just to the 6-figure level in general. Now, some of you guys that do know me, you kind of know my story. I basically had my huge breakthrough success at the beginning of 2018. Since then, I've really gotten a hang of dropshipping overall, and I've learned a lot of different things. And one of the things that a lot of people don't tell you is the things that you should expect as you scale. Now, I've been talking about these sort of things a lot in hindsight in my other videos where I talk about branding and how you should really try to take care of the customer. And guys, I'm not saying those things just because, I'm telling it out of experience. One of the things that nobody really warned me about whenever I was scaling was customer satisfaction. One thing that nowadays is extremely important is customer satisfaction. Now, back in the beginning of 2018, it wasn't as big of a deal. I mean, of course, it's always a big deal, right? Like, you don't have a legitimate business if you don't really have any returning customers. But at that point in my life, all I wanted to do was see some success in the e-commerce space, right? In dropshipping. I just wanted to scale a store, see those big numbers, and we did. That's exactly what happened. Me and my partner Tyler, we just scaled our store tremendously. We did over 170,000 in a single month, and that's basically where the store peaked. And after that, it just basically went slowly downhill. And the reason why is because I wasn't aware of these issues that I'm going to explain to you today. So the first thing that you should expect when it comes to scaling to these levels is that you will be basically putting out fires every single day. That's kind of how it feels. It's like every day there's a new issue that you have to overcome. It's not as fun as you'd like to think, right? I mean, making a lot of money is great, but the more you scale, the more risk you incur. Therefore, the more complaints you're gonna get, the more likely you are to get like a payment processor banned, stuff like that. There's always different issues every single day that arise when it comes to when you scale really big. And the worst part about it is that you don't see them coming, right? As you're scaling, you're so caught up in the numbers, you're so excited to make so much money that you don't think about these things or these potential hazards. And when they happen, you just basically sink to the ground, like you basically crash. But that's honestly part of the journey. That shouldn't be a reason for you not to scale. But knowing that, guys, I really do advise you to be smart about the way you scale, be smart about your store, and make sure that if you are selling a kind of bad product, that you don't continue to scale it like that, right? That's only gonna come back and bite you in the ass in the future. And at the end of the day, it's important to want to grow a store continuously, right? So that it always keeps going and always makes you money and always scales, right? You don't want to go like this and then back down to zero again. I know many people that have gone through that, and trust me, it's not pretty. So that's basically the first thing. You're going to be solving a lot of issues almost on a daily basis, but that's just part of the game, and that's why you need to, kind of train your mindset a lot. And that's why I always say, guys, a lot of the mindset videos that I make, in my opinion, are some of the most valuable sometimes, because mindset really does play a huge role in the success of your business, especially at a high level. Now, the second thing that you have to understand is that nobody's gonna be able to relate to you. Now, this one's a little more personal, but it's 100% true, guys. Like, as soon as I started having success with my business, I felt completely isolated from basically everyone around me, including my parents, including my best friends, everybody. And it was kind of a crazy feeling because you expect everybody to be super excited about your business as you are, but unfortunately that's not the case. I mean, everybody's doing their own thing, and everybody has their own lives, and at the end of the day, it's just it's really difficult to talk about e-commerce and your business with people that are not doing it. So that really isolates you, and it makes you feel a little bit lonely. But just like the first thing, guys, this is just a part of the game, and you will have to go through this. And everybody goes through this, and this is why I think it's important to have, a network of people that you build, whether it be online or in person or whatever, that are all doing the same thing, or that are at least striving towards similar goals. That's a really important thing in my opinion, and that has been the biggest change factor to my success in 2018. Is I actually started I started my YouTube channel. I started documenting my journey. You guys can actually see basically my whole journey throughout my YouTube channel. With that, I started meeting new people. I started talking to people online, some other YouTubers, and just really started to build a solid network. And then, of course, I built my Ecom Inner Circle family, which is my paid course. But that has become more than a course. It's a group of people. It's a network. It's a family. I'm always in there active, and I learn a lot from my students as well. So I've found a really solid environment online. So guys, you don't need people in your life physically. You can seek out like groups and things like that online. So just make sure that you're aware of that and how important that really is. But yes, that is something to expect when you scale big and you're finally, seeing success with your businesses. You're gonna feel very isolated from other people. Now, the next thing you should be expecting, guys, is PayPal holds. PayPal holds and payment processor bans. Now, here's the thing. This isn't something that happens to everybody. In fact, I have many students that have never seen a PayPal hold, that have never gotten their Shopify payments banned or anything. And the people that don't see these holds are the people that are, constantly replying to their customers, that are actively communicating with them, and, they're transparent about their business. They're not lying to them. They're not, they're just basically not running a sketchy business. And that's why people get banned, guys. A lot of people think that PayPal just sucks and they're the worst. And yes, they do cause some issues sometimes, but at the end of the day, the reason why they give you issues is because you're not running a legit business, right? It's because you're doing things improperly and you're not pleasing your customers. So it's not really like a good business to have. Whereas if you kind of shift your focus and really prioritize your customer at the beginning, from the very beginning, you will never really run into any issues when it comes to PayPal and Shopify payments. So keep that in mind. A great way to do this, guys, is to just make sure that you check your email, your customer service email every day. Like, check it twice a day, in the morning and maybe halfway through the day. And this is why, of course, once you do start seeing some profits, I do think it's important to reinvest it into a customer service rep, because they will save you a ton of time. And it's not even just about the time, but it's knowing that the customer service emails are always going to get done. That gives you a lot of mental clarity, and it's just one less thing that you have to worry about. Which leads me perfectly to the next point, which is you will always be thinking about how to scale. This is something to expect whenever you're scaling, is you're always going to be thinking of how to scale bigger. And this is part of the reason why most Shopify stores go big and then just completely disappear. It's because when you make money, when you start making money, and I'm guilty of this, you start thinking of how to make more and more and stop thinking about how to make it last. In fact, if you see on the screen right now, this is inside the e-commenter circle. This is where I put the resources, and I made a resource list 3 months ago or 4 months ago where I put like 30 or 40 successful Shopify stores, some of the best dropshipping stores out there, so that, my students could go out there and analyze them and sort of, model them. And about 50% of those stores that I included in that list initially are completely gone. They're wiped out, and that's pretty crazy. Now, of course, what could happen is they just changed their domain names or whatever it may be. But it just goes to show, guys, like, my point is, scaling big is great, but try to make it last. Don't continue to think, okay, how can I scale bigger and bigger? There's nothing wrong with thinking about how to scale bigger. I mean, I'm always thinking about how can I take my businesses to the next level. But I know that one of the biggest ways to do that is actually to, work on your returning customer rate, work on your back-end systems, work on increasing your average order value. This will make scaling your business much easier when it comes to paid advertising. And trust me, that's like the biggest hack that I've learned this year. In the past, I've always thought, okay, how can I scale my business? Well, I need, better cost when it comes to Facebook ads. But a lot of the times, guys, the cost, it's really hard to get a lot lower costs, right? Like, there are ways to, by testing new creatives and stuff like that, you will see lower costs sometimes once you find, better ads and stuff. But one of the biggest things that I was neglecting in the past was looking towards my store rather than the ads to scale. And what I mean by that is implementing better systems, systemizing everything so that, everything that I need to do on a daily basis gets done, while I can work on finding new products or increasing the average order value of the store, stuff like that, because these are things that are really gonna make a difference. It's so much easier to scale a business when you have better margins. So this is why I think, it's important to scale to a certain level. I think the safest number to scale to before your business could potentially collapse in itself is 30 to 60K. I would say 30 to 60K per month. That's manageable, and from there you can work on just really pleasing your customers by private labeling your product, or simply by shipping, bulk orders to the US, so that you can provide faster shipping. But after that point, it becomes really easy to just continue to want to scale without taking care of the customer. So just make sure that you take a step back once you get to that level. Let's just say you're making 60K a month. Make sure you take a step back and you start thinking about how to make this last for a whole year, right? Because if you think about it, if you make 150K a month 2 months in a row, that's 300K. But if you make 60K a month for 12 months, you know, that's 720K. So that's more than double what you could have made. So it's like, and of course you could argue that you could just, you know, start a whole nother store and just continue to make this and just continue to make that much money consistently by just, you know, deleting your store and starting a new one. And if that's what you want to do, then by all means, you know, like your journey is your own journey. The way that I do things might be different than the way that you do things. And at the end of the day, if you're making money and you're happy, then that's all that matters. But personally, I've fallen in love with the idea of building a store that is scaling always, but consistently over time, like over years. And the person that has actually brought that idea into my life was Ezra Firestone. If you guys don't know who he is, I admire this guy a lot. He created an e-commerce brand in the cosmetics industry, and he has done over 60 million in the past 4 years, which is ridiculous, right? Like he's had this store for 4 years, and that's something that I want to do. I mean, I feel like if I would have just stuck to one store from the very beginning and made it work, I would have probably made way more than I've already made, but it's just something that I never thought about. So that's definitely a solid point to keep in mind. And that's basically what I'm doing right now, guys. This is what I've been showing you is like, I've been drop shipping, but I'm not scaling super big because I want to maximize my profits, of course, and because I actually really enjoy having satisfied customers. And as I showed you in my previous video, I get 1 to 3, 5-star customer reviews every single week, basically. And of course, the reason why is because I do ask my customers to give me reviews, but how many successful dropshipping stores can say that? That's like the biggest thing that I think about is knowing that really makes me motivated and really makes me feel that I'm ahead of the competition. Even people who are making, 200K a month with their dropshipping stores, it still makes me feel like I'm in a better position to scale bigger than them, but it'll just take 6 months rather than, 2 months, but I'll be able to sustain that for a long time and, make way more money than anybody else while building a valuable business that I can actually end up selling if I want to. So these are only a handful of the things that you should expect, but I can see that this video is getting a little long. This is a really random video, but I just really want to be more consistent again. I was thinking back to last year and like last summer and how I was making a video every single day. And that was a little too much. That was too much work. Now I don't have that type of luxury, unfortunately, but I think I definitely can make at least 3 videos a week and, make them all very, very valuable so that you guys can learn as much as possible. And at the end of the day, that's why I started my YouTube channel, right? Was to help you guys out, to share my journey, and just to basically recycle all the knowledge that I gained from my e-commerce journey to you guys. So it's a foolproof business model if you think about it, right? So as long as I focus on my e-commerce businesses, there will always be content to share. And that's basically how I've been approaching everything in 2019. Hopefully you can see that. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe to the family. We're still growing insanely fast, which is amazing. I can't believe you guys are so engaged with my channel and on Instagram too. Both of the platforms have been growing really well. And I haven't really systemized anything. Everything's been just manual labor for me. I hardly even have a team really when it comes to my YouTube channel or anything. So it's pretty cool. It's been basically like just all me. But if you did enjoy this video, also make sure you give it a thumbs up. That always helps out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.